Boom.
There you go.
There it is.
Correctly though.
That's my farm girl right there.
Yeah,
Well, I don't know. I don't know. Oh, yeah. That's my farm girl. All right. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Brian over here at the Little Orchard Farm. Welcome to today's video, man. We got some great stuff lined up this weekend as we prepare for planting season. Several weeks ago, we made a little video, and I'll post it right up here, on our seed starts, where we planted from seed some of the things that we wanted to kind of do this year in terms of our garden. And, well, here's the results. Not a bad little first start. Now, granted, we were growing these bad boys in an apartment in the laundry room. And so I had some grow lights that I put on them, and we began to treat them kind of, well, we were treating them a little rough there for a little while, because as we would come out here, it would mean several days going without water or care. But we got the hang of it. We got kind of a good schedule, and ended up getting some great peppers. We've got our Brussels sprouts. We've got our cauliflower. We've got bell peppers of some different types. And we've got some cherry tomatoes, Roma tomatoes, beefsteak. A couple of beefsteaks made it. And of course the cherry tomatoes, which have been really just man, they've been busting it. They're doing really great. Got some broccoli. And then we tried some herbs, but the herbs got a little finicky on me. But so anyway, we got a couple of trays started, and we'll do some additional things in the garden this season. We may end up buying a few plants at one of the local nurseries or at one of the local co-ops or farmers markets to kind of fill out our garden. And this weekend, we're going to actually lay it out, prep all the beds, and do all the final things before next week. Next week is final frost date, and so we're going to look forward to putting some things in the ground. But this weekend, we're going to prep for that. We're getting closer and closer to our transition date. We are looking at, I think I shared with you last week, we're looking at September being our transition date to where we completely move out. And man, hopefully that'll come quick, and that'll mean a couple of things. Number one, you will see we'll be posting more videos because we'll be out here more. But number two, we can start living the country life, and we're looking so forward to that, because every time we come out here and we're working on the cabin or we're working on the land, man, it is therapy. I mean, therapy. It is wonderful. I can feel my blood pressure just woo after a hard day's or hard week's work, in the office. It's awesome to escape out here and enjoy what we have going on the farm. So we got a lot going on. Let's do this. All right, next on the list for us this morning is we are trying to lay out our garden area on determining how wide our rows are, where our paths are going to be. Our plan today is to scratch this up, remove all the big items out of it, pull the very few weeds that have kind of sprouted up. We've got a couple in here due to the hard rain and whatnot. No worries, we'll get it all scratched. And then we're going to lay out our rows. I did go and purchase a couple of bags of essentially soil conditioner, Miracle Grow kind of soil conditioner. In the future, we want to be able to do that through all natural ingredients in terms of like blood meal and things like that, the amendments that we want to add that would be specifically healthy to our soil, or specifically to create our healthy soil. And so we're going to spread that on our planting rows. And then again, like I said, we'll bring the wood chips up and do our walking paths. So Karen is now laying out the distance from the sides, and then we'll measure in from there where we want to have the paths and the planting rows. We again, we are going to have to do we're going to have to do a little bit of raking out here. We definitely got a little raking to do. So, all right, let's get busy. Right there, you're on it. All right, so what we've decided to do is we laid it out. We've got 30 foot long, and we're at about 25 feet or so wide. We're gonna run these at about 30-inch beds, 20 or so inches as our walk paths. We may extend that later on in terms of other seasons, increasing the size of our walk path. But this gives us what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows of vegetables to begin on our 30 foot, and that's plenty. We don't have that. We've got some things that we're going to obviously be planting it from seed, but some of that stuff is trellised things like our cucumbers. And so what we're going to do is come over here on this last row, and we're going to come on the other side of it and create the trellis right down the side here. And that way we'll have our 5 rows and then an extra trellis row. And then we did not do this last third of the section back over here yet. It still needs a little bit of, it needs a little TLC. We're a little thin in some spots. I think this is the last piece we were doing, and we were racing the rain, I believe, if I recall. So we still got to do a little work over here. But Karen suggested perhaps that this area could be the area that we use for doing potato tubes or things like that. Some of our other projects that we want to kind of test out and see how we like. And so we may do some raised beds over here. We've still got to figure out where to put her herb garden. So she's got several herbs that she likes to cook with that we're going to try to figure out. Is that kind of a trough or a planter box or what does that look like? So we're still playing. We're having a good time with this, but I think we've got the bed now to where we can run from end to end to start establishing our rows, and then we're probably going to make a run up to grab the tractor so I can start getting wood chips in, and Karen and Dylan perhaps can maybe come down and help us as we start unloading some of our topsoil. Just the just a little bit of soil conditioner and compost material that we'll put on top, and hopefully we will be set to plant. Okay, so we are just finishing up or getting the last couple of rows of wood chips down, which will finish up the garden prep. It's looking great. Karen's done a great job spreading. Dylan's doing a phenomenal job spreading out some of the wood chips, and so we are getting close to being done with this particular project. And next week, post April 14th is our supposed last frost date, and so Karen's going to be out here on the 15th. Yeah. 15th. She says she's breaking ground. She's throwing some greens in the ground. So hopefully we will be ready. Everything looks great. The only thing that really we're going to be lacking, I think, is a sufficient protective barrier when she does get the plants in the ground. So we'll have to think of a temporary fencing structure similar to what we did with the orchard, and we'll protect the plants that she's going to put out here. But not an overly large garden. I mean, we've got 5 rows at 30 foot each to begin with, and we'll actually set this 6th row up as a trellis, as our trellis line for pole beans, cucumbers, and some other things. But it's enough for us to get started in our first season when we are not necessarily going to be able to manage it as closely as we wanted to, with us again in that transition period of getting completely moved out here. This garden will have to survive a few weekdays on its own. So, but we are certainly going to do our best to see what we can raise this first year, as we're excited about having the opportunity to raise our own food and get off of that some of that grocery store stuff. Whew, it's been a good day, great day on the farm. One of the things that we did when we went out to get some of the topsoil and some of the conditioner, along with some of the other supplies, some string and whatnot, we took some time to go by one of the nurseries that was in town to look around and kind of see what they had, because if you recall, we started a couple of trays of seed starts, and I actually started a 3rd tray a couple of weeks later that I had a miserable time with, complete fail. And so we had listed out the things that we kind of wanted to be able to grow in the garden this year, just to kind of get things off and running, kick started. And we had a few things that we really needed. So while we were out, we also did a little bit of shopping. Now, the 2 trays here are the trays that we actually grew. But you can see we got some herbs, rosemary, thyme, oregano. We've got some a couple of. The one thing I didn't have was the orange colored bell peppers, yellow, orange. We love to have a mixed color fajita mix when we're doing bell peppers and so forth. So I got a couple of orange or yellow bell peppers. We've got some okra in there. Let's see, what else did we? This is actually basil. But then we got some okra, squash, and we got a couple of vine and bush cucumber. We'll also try to pop some seed in to see if we can get some of those to grow, but at least we'll know we'll have some good starts with those. And then I think the really cool one over here is the Garden Lookout citronella plant. So hopefully we'll see maybe a few less mosquitoes on us in the garden this summer. But anyway, yeah, so we picked up a few additional plants just to supplement what we're growing and what we're going to want to start from seed, as well as any of the vine stuff. I've got one more idea that Karen and I were tossing around for the backside of the garden, and we'll have to kind of see how that plays out. I'm thinking about maybe running corn in there, maybe even doing a three-sister approach. I've got to see how that might look, but I may go that route as well. That's the old Native American combination of squash, corn, and I think it's beans, some sort of a runner. A vine. So yeah, squash, corn, and a vine cucumber or something like that. That's the three sisters. So anyway, thinking about maybe doing a couple of pods of those on the backside of the garden. Man, it's just so much fun to sit around and dream, sit around and try to think through what you want to do, what you want to plant, what you want to harvest. And at the end of the day, what would you enjoy eating? And I think for us, the number one thing is healthy, eating healthy. And we know that a lot of what we're doing now and some of our eating habits, not healthy. But growing our own food, producing our own fruits from our orchard, eventually growing our own meat, birds, or livestock will be one step closer to self-sustainability and eating a healthy lifestyle. Well, all right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for here on the Little Orchard Farm. We greatly appreciate you joining us, and we hope to see you again, sometime down the road, again, on the other side. I'm just going to ramble because I have no idea. You guys have a great week. Blessed week. Till we see you again the next time. We will. See ya.